Hello, the Hockey Show, and today we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks, a team that has proven every single second of the year that they are a proven top of the league team every single game this season, from top to bottom, from 1 to 60. I think they're on 67 right now, 68, 67 games. They have proven every single one of them that they are a contending team to be the top team in the league, to go all the way and win the grandest prize in them all, Lord Stanley Cup. But can they? Can they do it? Are they a true contender to win this trophy, right? Because they've outlasted other teams that people at the beginning of the year would have said that. They've outlasted the Kings, a team that started out so hot fire and that have just gone so cold. They outlasted a team like the Devils, who were on top of the league, and then everything went horrible for them. Then every single second of the way, people would doubt them the most because people believed in the Kings, people believed in the Devils, and the Canucks just seemed like a fluke. But they've proved whole year long that it is not. They are right there at the top of the league with 92 points, fourth in the NHL with their 42-18-8 record. And I was trying to, usually when I go through these teams, I try to look at one statistical, one stat that is an issue for a team, right? But the Canucks are solid. Truly, no real flaws. They're fourth in goals for and fifth in goals against, so they score the top four in the league, and they're getting scored on in the top five teams in the league. So they don't get scored on, they score a lot, so they're doing the basics of hockey so well. The power plays of 11th in the league, which is obviously, you want to be top 10, at least maybe top 5 for a true contender, but 11th is not bad at all. The only real stat that's kind of low is 20th in the penalty kill, but we've seen a lot of teams have horrible penalty kills go into the playoffs. But I think the penalty kill stat is the one stat that kind of links them to what their main struggles will be in the playoffs. And I'll get there in a second. But so far, all year long, they've outlasted all those other teams when it comes to either starting off really cold. They did not, like the Edmonton Oilers, which then proved themselves correct. They started off super hot, like the Devils, like the Red Wings, like the LA Kings, and knocked all of them out of the way, and they have stood tall and have never faltered once, right? And I remember at the beginning of the season a lot of people were trying to go after the Canucks, saying it was the first 20 games of the season or something. It was they're 14-6, or who knows I don't remember what it was, but they were but their 6 games they lost was against the Bruins, the Devils, it was top teams in the league, and the wins were against the Sharks and the Ducks. And that was valid at the time. But gone back and recently they're thrashing the Golden Knights. They're tossing out of the way the Rangers. The only team that has really given them a lot of issue is the Colorado Avalanche. So that is the only team in the regular season that has really stumped them. But other than that, they are knocking out top teams in the league as well. So that's not an issue. So really, there's no negatives, all pros. So where does this team stack up? Offensively, going into the regular season, I was okay, well, let's look at the players, right? Because a lot of people would probably point to this team going okay, well, they haven't proven themselves in the playoffs yet, right? Well, just a few years ago, back in the bubble year, Elias Pettersson was still the star of the Canucks at the time, and he led them with 18 points in 17 games played in the playoffs. This guy, in his one tour of the playoffs, is a more than point per game player for the Vancouver Canucks, which they were on a bit of a tear in the playoffs, and it was an interesting year to judge them off of. But still, it's just the truth. Elias Pettersson, so far in the playoffs, is a hero in the playoffs. So Elias Pettersson, great playoff performer. JT Miller, the type of guy you want to have a number 19 Matthew Tkachuk on the ice. A guy that is so hard-nosed, is going to give you so much energy and fight for your team, so much just anger and hatred against the other team that he's going to be one of those clutch players. You can see he's a gamer on the ice. He's leading the team in points. Going into the playoffs, he is a playoff kind of player, especially at this point. He's been there in the past with the Lightning, but he has never been the player he is now. This is top JT Miller, and combined with guys like Brock Besser, who's scoring 36 goals and has found his goal-scoring lane. When a guy like JT Miller just wants to crash the net, send the puck a little bit to Besser, he goes diving into the defensive lines of like the Vegas Golden Knights and draws Pietrangelo to him, and Besser can just wind up the shot. That's what you're looking for. And then down the depth, this team, 3 solid lines. Maybe not the most stacked 3 solid lines. I still look at a team like Vegas. I look at a team like the Carolina Hurricanes. I look at a team like the Panthers. And I'm like, okay, those are like teams that I can really roll out the lines. A team like the Rangers as well. But this team is up there. They're not as stacked offensively as those teams, but they definitely have the basis to have, as long as everything else stacks up well. They can definitely go toe-to-toe and maybe lose the offensive battle, like just offense to offense to some teams, but it's after the fact, right? So offensively, super happy with them. But defense is where I start to fall apart. And even though they're only 5th goals against in the league, I'm just going to throw it out there to Thatcher Demko first for goaltending. Thatcher Demko takes a whole load on the back end for the Vancouver Canucks. He is carrying this team on his back when it comes to defensive play. He is so good this year. I don't understand how he doesn't have more Vezina candidacy, because he is absolutely electric. Not as electric as Hellebuck, but I would say it should be he is the runner-up, because he does so much for this team. I only say Connor Hellebuck because the Winnipeg Jets are the number 1 team in goals against, and he really is taking the load to keep them at that number 1 spot. Thatcher Demko go. When we saw him in the playoff year, the same time as when Elias Pettersson set off, that guy, Demko, was the beast in net. He looked like an Andrei Vasilevsky. That was the year that I kind of was cheering for him all year long, and then that was the playoffs that he finally got his I forget, there was like one game that everyone was like, whoa, this Demko guy, and I was like, yeah, you just need to pay attention. And then every game after that, he just became that whole story. And then the Canucks lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. Or was it the Avalanche? No, it was the Golden Knights, yeah. The Golden Knights finally defeated them, but Demko put up such a fight. So, this team, Demko checks all the boxes in a regular season 82-game schedule. And their backup, DeSmith, is solid as well. But the defense is where I really worry for the Vancouver Canucks. Because for an 82-game season, for a long 82-game season, and especially in an NHL that is definitely gearing more towards scoring than stopping the other team from scoring, the Canucks, led by Quinn Hughes and Hronik, are super well built for that. To throw out those 2 guys and just get all the assists in the world, especially for Quinn Hughes, just get all the assists in the league. And then just throw out the solid, just like kind of like level-headed, like get the job done guys of Zadorov, Soucy, and Myers. Like to throw those guys out onto the ice and just get the job done works. They're a bunch of big-bodied guys that are more defensive players, and they can also help somewhat off the rush, and not off the rush, but just in the offensive zone. Zadorov can jump off the rush, but regardless, like they're more defensive guys that can throw their body around than they are going to be true shutdown players, right? Sure, the Zadorov loves to get hits and he gets block shots, but he also is a 6'5" giant that can eat those shots, right? And that are fed into him. I don't know how much that is his true talent, and he has not really ever truly shown that what he has to show and to offer a team in the playoffs. And that's a move where you bring in a guy like Zadorov, right? And you bring in a guy like Carson Soucy this offseason, and you wonder, those are the guys that you want to be those shutdown defenders, right? With Tyler Myers up front as well, just being the giant guy who can throw his body and then kind of jump up on the rush just because he's such a big guy that he just offers that talent in just by him existing. But still, this team is definitely more geared towards putting too many goals on the net and Demko eating a ton of shots, right? And I think this absolutely is a terrific game plan for the regular season. But when we get to the playoffs, when it is a 7-game series against a team with true shutdown defense, is when I worry. Because their offense already can, like, maybe top guys can overthrow another team's top guys. But once you get down the line to, like, the third line, This is when I worry about a team running into them like the Vegas Golden Knights again. Because offensively, I think maybe the true offensive skill, especially with like Lindholm all the way on the third line for this team, they can probably the Canucks can probably outplay those three lines of the Golden Knights. It'll be tough, like it'll be toe to toe, but it'll be like an inch above them, right? But then the shutdown of Pietrangelo and White Cloud and Martinez all come into play. And then adding guys like Shea Theodore as well. Then add on top of that the goaltending that can shut down of Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson. This is when I worry about a team like the Canucks. I don't think that the offense that they can offer can overthrow the offense and strong depth of another team like the Vegas Golden Knights or the Florida Panthers if they get to the finals. That is what worries me, and especially the Knights. And the Colorado Avalanche, especially since they've just destroying them in the regular season. And once again, it's the whole thing where the offense can go toe-to-toe. But once you have a guy like Nathan MacKinnon to truly trump those guys and have Mikko Rantanen above them as well, the defense is going to fall second, right? And then Demko just doesn't have the type of capacity to stop those level of players on his own. And that's when I think a team like the Canucks are kind of not fit for the playoffs yet. They're missing those Martinez's and White Clouds, those most important players, those detail players that you need to throw on the ice to shut down another team's top guys. And that's why I think right now the Vancouver Canucks, they're going to be an absolutely terrific matchup for any team, and it will be a hard as hell series that if things start to go bad for them, they will falter, right? Because we've seen what a team like the Vegas Golden Knights can do to a guy like Jake Ottinger or Bobrovsky. Goaltenders who are playing insanely out of their mind, and they can make them look like a peewee goaltender. This team, the Vegas Golden Knights, can do that. A team like the Carolina Hurricanes could probably do that to a team like this. And that's why I think they're not ready. Their defensive core needs some padding. They needed to add in some guys like a Christopher Tanev, maybe add a guy like him. And they need those kind of players, like those true like upper end talented guys like a Tanev added. Zadorov is good, but Tanev and just trying to like a Lundell, like those are the type of packaging that you need. Take a team like the Avalanche that won the cup a couple years ago, right? You have Makar, and then you have Byram, then you have Manson. Like, there's so many just solid defenders that are keeping the team in play. And this team, when they roll out a guy like Zadorov and Susie, I'm going to be worried when Jack Eichel and Marchessault are going down the ice. I don't believe in those guys to shut them down. And then if they turn the puck around somehow, I think the Golden Knights can just shove it back down their throat the other way again. So for me, Vancouver is going to be a tough matchup for anyone. But I think they're a second-round exit. I think they lose 4-2, probably to the Vegas Golden Knights, unless they face them in the first round. Other than that, then I think their limit is the second round. I think it depends on what their matchup is at this point. If they play against a team like the Nashville Predators in the first round, then I think maybe the Preds have an easy win by the Preds. But then second round, they get tossed by whoever they run into. And if it is like Edmonton, I feel like the only team I feel like they could overthrow is Edmonton in the second round. Other than that, they are toast. They got nothing. So second round, 4-2 exit for my record is what I think they're going to do. And that is all I got to say. So thank you for watching this. If you made it this far, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription down below. And until next time, too sweet. Have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.